did, especially after their performance in the post-launch cups, that EnVyUs might have been the first team to have an edge over Reunited, since Reunited actually, took to winning King of the Watch week after week after week. Thank you very much for the paycheck, sir. See you later. I didn't expect this though, and this is something else coming out from EnVyUs. I mean, I don't really just want to say outplayed here. I feel like Reunited, there might be some buttons they can push, or maybe they're able to switch out of their comps into things that actually work better against what EnVyUs are doing a little bit faster or something. But where do you go from here? You're mid-series. You don't have time to analyze. You need to do something that, has some sort of effect from the next map. What do you do?
One thing that I'm enjoying about seeing these guys play one hero limit is that you just your skill is it's exposed a lot more, right? If there are problems with your play or there are problems with your team play, these are exposed to a lot greater a degree when your comps are quite similar, or I guess more generic. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, but I mean that you're trying to take the best healer, the best tank, the couple best DPSs that you have, obviously without stacking.
Yeah.
So, I think it's quite clear to see. We have the guys from EnVyUs playing on the EU server, absolutely dominating and full holding first points on these hybrid maps. It should send a pretty clear message to Reunited as well in terms of where they need to improve. Yes, it's hard to attack on Overwatch. It's always going to be a defensively biased game, but that's now being exacerbated, I feel, by Reunited's inability to make this comp that it's pretty much the same comp, right, with only very few variations, maybe a switch of a DPS or maybe a Zarya instead, but it's not working. And they have to actually look at the fundamentals as to why it's not working.
And for those of us wondering, well, hang on a second, just because you're not stacking, doesn't mean that you should be playing the same comp all the time. Let's break it down for you this way. Imagine when you're stacking, there's a particular point you want to go after, or a particular objective, or a particular hero you want to go after. I mean, you often get double, Winston chasing away double Widowmaker or stuff like that. You have an objective in mind. And the reason you switch and you stack so much is because you know you can switch to the best hero for that situation. But when you're playing one hero limit, all of a sudden, you've already got the best hero for that situation, and if you want to stack that function, you have to switch to the second best hero. And all of a sudden, hang on a second, that doesn't actually seem so good, because you don't really get synergies. Double flashbang with McCree, healing and speed with Lucio, and the list goes on. Double bubble with Winston. The stacking actually meant that heroes, when you pick the same one, can add up to more than the sum of their parts. And when that's removed, you have to think so much more carefully about whether it's actually worth switching off. So that's why you tend to see the teams stick to those compositions a little bit more often.
This is going to be very interesting now as well. We're seeing Lijiang Tower being picked up. So a King of the Hill map to potentially be the decider. And what I find quite strange about this, John, is that when the problem for Reunited appears to be their fundamentals. This is a map that requires nothing but fundamentals to win, okay? It's not about team comp, because you saw it even without hero limits, it was very similar, like you'd always have double Lucio or whatever, right? So these teams were playing the same thing, and the team who fought better over that point, or was just getting outplays or working better together, would win. Now, sometimes this isn't a problem in payload maps. Sometimes your comp can just be better, and you can actually blag your way through it by outgaming someone mentally.
Yeah.
But if Reunited are having a problem with the left click, right click WASD, then this is going to exacerbate that even further.
I'm actually a little bit confused by this. I think you're right. I'm looking for like individual. So my thought process right now is I'm looking for individual heroes where Reunited might say, "Oh, I think we might have an edge from you in individual skill here," or "I think our DPS actually can out DPS you, and therefore if we get on the point first without hero stacking, we can defend it better." But I'm struggling to see where that is. I'm looking for differences between the teams, and I'm thinking maybe Valutaja has a little bit of an edge on McCree, but I'm also thinking Harry Hook has played a sublime Soldier 76 all evening, and I'd be pretty worried about that kind of sustain if I'm playing on a point on Li Jiang against him. So I wonder if they're coming out with something special here, but I also think part of this is, guys, payload's not working, we need to switch it up.
So realistically here as well, we're probably not going to see that Reinhardt pick anymore. Probably Winston's. You can't double stack Winston's. You can't double stack Traces here as well. So there's actually a huge element of uncertainty for me, at least looking into this game and wondering exactly what... I'd say so. It's probably going to be the best here as well. I mean, you can play Roadhog here to a degree, but it's always going to be dependent on what your enemy picks. If they have a Soldier 76 in the Kree combo as well, you're just feeding people ultimates there as well. The Hook is great to have. specifically on certain parts of Lijiang Tower as well, where you do have the open areas. Probably the second stage, as it used to be.
Is that the garden where Lucio gets the lovely bridge boops and all that?
That's correct, yeah. I mean, he's great at there from pulling you into that center tower, because obviously there's a moat, essentially, that prevents you from getting there, but... yeah, I think Zayu's going to be better in this case. You're just going to want Graviton Surge. I'd be interested to see if Widowmaker is still going to be so extensively employed on these maps as well.
This is very true indeed. Widowmaker... I mean, Taimu is so good on Widowmaker, but I wonder how effective it's going to be. I'm really worried that... there is a universe in which Taimu picks Widowmaker, and he has a really good first 45 seconds of the map, and then the moment either team captures the point and decides to camp out and sort of hold their territory, Taimu then becomes a lot less effective than he would on another hero. That potentially concerns me here for Team EnVyUs, but that said, these guys are also 3-0 up and they've been making it work all evening, so who am I to judge, hey?
Exactly. I mean, I really don't know what they're going to be bringing here. I think things like Reaper and Zaya are going to be great on this map. You really can't go without a Lucio. Yeah, so both teams seem to be doing that as well. Obviously, as we said, yeah, Wins and Zaya. I'd be interested to see if Too Easy actually does play this Widow and how he makes it work, because it can be a little tricky with the point being as enclosed as it is. So time will tell here. I'm going to see teams go head-to-head, and maybe to start a fight here around this little bit of advertisement. Winghaven into the backline here, and most of Reunited trying to stay safe up on the bridge.
Yeah, very aggressive from Team EnVyUs, moving straight up onto the opposing team's bridge, really wanting to cap the point first. You can tell it unlocks in about 5 seconds. They're keeping Reunited to their side of the bridge, being very, very careful, and that's mainly because Cruz was the first person to go down there. Very awkward not being able to have that on Lucio, and now we see what Reunited are planning to do if they don't have the points. So they're going to have to push it very, very quickly. And the difference in composition is here, we've got Tailspin on Reaper, and that's going up against Too Easy on Farah. So that's going to be very interesting from a DPS point of view. But a good initial engagement. Balutaja taking out his opposite number.
Yeah, I mean, Too Easy switching to Farah, of course, after getting wrecked on Widowmaker. Once you lose control of the point, Widowmaker sucks in this area, okay? You can only pick from 1 or 2 angles at all. Tailspin there gets the double coming in on Reaper as well. And we're going to hear, I think it's Balutaja try and make the difference, but he actually gets killed before we can actually even channel that Deadeye at all. Harry Hill trying to boop off the bridge, but not actually connecting that one at all. Now needs to jump back into the fray and assist the rest of his team. But Tailspin is doing a heck of a lot of heavy lifting on his own here. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by Unfixed on that Zaya. And now the first sound barrier comes in. Tailspin comes forward as well. He's clearing the area. Death Blossom blooms, and no one from Reunited is left to tell the tale.
Death Blossom currently 1 versus 0, unfortunately, for Barrage. Too Easy does have it available, though, and a concerted effort here can certainly allow Reunited to retake the point. I mean, we've got Sound Barrier and Barrage, 2 very, very good ultimate abilities to basically push anyone you want off of where you are currently standing. So we'll see if they're able to do that. What other ultimates have they got available? Winghaven actually very soon, and Balutaja, so this could be huge. There's a Graviton Surge, Sound Barrier coming down, and there's the Barrage, but it's actually nowhere close to the other ultimate. It doesn't matter, he gets 2 kills anyway. He gets taken out by Taimu, who is going to be continuing to do a lot of damage here inside the house, but he's away from the rest of the team.
Oh no, Mort and Valu. Oh dear. Internet Hulk got Primal Rage on the bridge, right? He knocks Mort off first, who uses Guardian Angel to charge to Valu. Then, when he gets back, both Valu and Mort get knocked off again, and there's no point trying to Guardian Angel to Valu because he's falling as well. So, great play by Internet Hulk. He just absolutely styled right then on Reunited. And look, and this is just EnVyUs playing better fundamentally.
Yeah, and he knows that as well, by the way. He had the emote beating his chest when that happened. Tailspin coming in, though, with the ultimate from Reaper, and he's able to kick everyone off the point as well. We still have the annoying issue of Too Easy on Farah, but it looks like Farah can't get anywhere close. Overtime, it's 99% versus 0. Is that Coco? No, that's Unfixed, actually, with the Graviton Surge on the point. So Reunited still trying heart and soul, but what on earth are they going to do about Primal Rage here? I don't know. Internet Hulk is a mainstay on that point right now.
Well, nothing. They did nothing about it. In fact, we actually saw Chips able to slide in and get a cheeky res, get his team back on the point, and that's going to be game. We saw the first take, and look, these maps can be a bit snowbally sometimes, as well as if you usually hold the point, you have stronger position, and you normally have more ult percentage because you won the fight, did more damage. But you saw Too Easy tried Widow, peaks, gets nothing, has to go back, initially changes to Reaper, then changes to Farah, tries to come in, but Tailspin's already absolutely wrecking people, and then when Internet Hulk gets to stand on the bridge and use Primal Rage, it's just, excuse the pun, but it's just too easy for him.
Hey, no, it's, I mean, on that control point, I completely agree with you because basically any time you left click, you punt someone off the bridge at that point, right? It's incredibly difficult for anyone to contest the space. All they can really do is sit back and give you the space so they don't get punted off yourself. And you're on a King of the Hill map. How long are you going to do that for?
I don't know, man. Anyway, we do actually see Reunited at least hold the point first now, but here comes the attack. Internet Hulk kind of messes up the jump there. I don't know if that is intentional, but Taimu gets himself 3 kills. This man already going off so early on in the piece, and he's keeping himself healthy. He sat inside the Winston bubble the whole time. He's taken down every DPS character for Reunited, and this man gets his 5th in a row. This man just always single-handedly completely wrecking Reunited. I mean, that has got to hurt. Taimu gets all the kills. He's got the skills to pay the bills. And that's already going to be putting a huge negative note on Reunited's experience coming back on this hub.
That is absolutely insane. I mean, yes, he was hiding behind the shields. Yes, he had an opportunity. Oh, never mind. Hang on a second. He's coming back in. And he takes out more to start off with. He goes for 2 easy as well. This is absolutely insane. Is he going to get the kill off on the Reaper as well? He raised away. Taimu is single-handedly putting Reunited into airplane mode. This is disgusting. There is nothing they can do. Everything's getting switched off. And he has time to chat as well. Why not?
Everything's really going right for him right now as well. Calls the NA aim as well, which is interesting given that he's European, but alright, Time, I think he's finished in fact. But look, he actually has a Deadeye available, so you can see now him being set up in his position to use it. Is anyone going to be focusing him? No. So he gets himself one, but now has to deal with the Winston. But again, Winston can't afford to go 1v1 against Taimu, who's just going to flash him and kill him. Again, this time Taimu doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting, but Coco, Internet Hulk, everyone else there was ready, ults were ready to go, and now Chips is going to have a res, Internet Hulk is again going to have an ultimate. Luckily Mort has a res himself here, but will it be enough?
I don't know, man. This is, time is running out. We're at 66%. Now, it's always important not to panic in these situations, because there are plenty of games we've seen on King of the Hill where you get to 99% overtime and then it flips. But right now, it really doesn't look like Team EnVyUs are looking to let that up very quickly. Unfix coming in to try and get some damage done, but against Primal Rage, that's going to take forever and a day. There's the Graviton Surge, wraithing away from that as well. And Coco, well, he's got the shields up. He actually managed to get taken down by Unfix, but you can't really one-man ban this forever, and he is doing a good job, I have to say. He's still not dead.
Yeah, I mean, Chips has a res, but he got killed very, very early on in the piece there as well. So good job by Unfix. That'll allow them to take the point here, but 95% means one more take from EnVyUs will mean that Reunited don't even have a chance to come back and secure overtime. So they die once, it's GG.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it is encouraging. They haven't managed to take the point at any point up till now, so this would be to tie it up at 1-1 and force this King of the Hill map to the last point in the best of 3. EnVyUs now going in with Deadeye in conjunction as well with Sound Barrier. Coco coming in from behind, but getting Flash and Fan there. Very, very nicely played. Harry Hook also going down. EnVyUs potentially trying to pick up after Taimu here and being a little bit inspired, maybe, but it's not quite at the same level just yet.
Graviton Surge being used though by Reunited, but it catches Coco. Tailspin can just Wraith form out of it now, and Taimu again, just doing Taimu things here as well. He does get cut down by 2 easy, but the point's been taken, and now Reunited have to throw themselves at this to keep them in the game. It's now overtime. Value is trying to duel it out with Internet Hulk on the point, does fortuitously have his option available, but so does Internet Hulk, and both these guys are swinging for the fence here, or maybe they're just swatting flyers. I'm not really sure sometimes, but Chris and Unfix now have a lot of work to do. They need to keep their team alive, but the sound barrier is going to make it so hard for Unfix to pick anyone off, and the same for EnVyUs, who's now switched to Tracer. Yeah,
the only way they were actually going to pick someone off there on those Winstons if they actually banged someone off of the edge. Neither of that happened though, and we just have a little bit of a tank fight over here on the point. We're going to go ahead and zoom out because so many people are in here right now. This is like a fantastic party gone horribly, horribly wrong. Internet Hulk continuing to reign dominance. Unfix did have shields up, but he doesn't really have the ability to fight 4v1 there, and that's the GG. A 4-0 victory for Team EnVyUs. What a dominant display, and let's have a wild guess what the play game's going to be.
Oh, well, I hope it's Tailspin's ult there cleaning house. No, Internet Hulk actually.
Okay, well, this better impress us more than Tailspin. No pressure.
Oh yes,
okay.
This was what I was talking about. Yeah. Get absolutely wrecked. I mean, but that's what happens, right? That's what Winston's always do on this map. It's made for him. It's made for guys like him and Lucio. But, I mean, if we take a sweeping glance over the look, I guess, over this tournament as it has been on this best of 7 here, there's a few conclusions that you can take away from it. All right. First of all, fundamentally, EnVyUs are better than Reunited. I don't think there's any way to doubt that one. I mean, EnVyUs came to the EU circuit.